자, 준비 모두 마쳤습니다. 경기 시작해 보겠다. 네 번째 세트입니다.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Hello everyone, StarCraft fans. This is going to be set 4 of Woongjin versus ROKAF. Both of these teams have been doing fairly well. We've got Woongjin up 2-1, and they're sending in Kwanro to take on Ruby. This is going to be a TVZ on Tornado. Now this is the older version of Tornado, not quite up to date yet. As we move through these commentaries, I'm sure the maps will start updating themselves as well. But anyways, we have Ruby, the red Terran player, spawning in the 1 o'clock position, and in the 7 o'clock position we have our white Zerg player Kwanro. Kwanro being known for being extremely aggressive, and on this map it's very balanced actually. At this point in time we have 9 to 10 in favor of the Zerg, but I really don't think that's a sizable advantage enough to say that this map is favored necessarily towards any race. In this commentary we're going to have Varosh, SC Soulseeker, and Deja Vu, actually in that order. So Varosh, tell me what you think about this game here.
I'm really excited for this game, and I'm really excited to be part of this amazing quad commentary. First time commentating with Frank. I'm really happy about it. Normally, I'd be inclined to favor Kwanro in this game, but since his deep run in the Star Leagues last season, he's been on a major slump, and I think he's fallen to the level of, Air Force ace quality. So I think Ruby has a fantastic chance in this game. The only difference that I've noticed from the old Tornado to the new Tornado is those mature chrysalises that make the ramps somewhat smaller. So although I'll miss them, miss Yamatoing them, we did that in a Team Melee once. I'll miss that, but it probably shouldn't change the game very much at this point. And we can see Kwanro already went out for a 12 hatch, and Ruby is sending out a scout. They are at cross positions, which probably fights a little against Kwanro's style because he's a very aggressive player. So that maybe helps Ruby a little bit more, but it's going to be pretty exciting going into the later game. And we've got so many people alongside, I'll just pass it off to Sol before I talk for too long.
Yeah, because I got 30 seconds of talk time in the last one. But that's okay, because it was a 2-game. Now, I want to talk about the map a little bit. It has ledges all over the place. 4 ledges, I think. 4 or 5 ledges. Kwanro going for a 3-hatch build, by the way. And those ledges can let the Zerg use Mutalisks or Lurkers to stall for time. ZVT is basically just one big kind of stall until you can get Ultralisks out. But the Lurkers can get on top of that ramp. The Mutalisks can start mutomicroing. Oh god, I just realized that, but that was 3 hatchery before pool, so that was really actually quite a smart decision because this map is quite huge. What's his face? Ruby couldn't really do anything about that right now, especially because of these cross positions. His units, whatever he decided to attack with, would have been quite late. And now the gas is finally going down for Kwanro, and I keep wanting to call Kwanro Ruby because Ruby looks like an elf.
Like an elf? Haven't heard that one before. But, sure, let's go for it. And yeah, I like the build from Kwanro. I think he threw down the 3rd hatch as soon as he realized that they were at cross positions, so we knew that any sort of push from Ruby would be late in coming in. But we saw that Ruby reacted very well as well once he saw the 3rd hatchery. He just built the 2 Marines while he was scouting, and then threw down his command center as natural very, very quickly, so that's a very smart play by him as well. I think a lot of people have been saying Kwanro sucks recently, but I kind of don't think he's that bad. We've kind of raised the bar on him because of his MSL silver, but he's really not doing that bad. He's still about 50%, and a lot of his losses have come against like Calm and Flash and Jaedong. So like since that Star League, I mean he's not doing terrible in the Pro League so far, and he's still alive in the MSL. For those guys who don't know, this game was played in November 29th, but since it's like December 15th or whatever, Kwanro is still alive in the MSL. He's out of the OSL, but yeah, he might be trying to make another deep run there. So I mean, if he survives, he's playing against Bogus in the MSL. So if he wins that one, I mean, he'll be into the round of 8, and he really should be favored to win that series. So he's not looking too bad. In this game, I don't know who to favor really. Ruby is on Air Force Ace, but he's early on in his tenure at Air Force Ace, so he's still got a lot of his skills. The fact that they only get to practice like 3-4 hours a day or whatever hasn't really caught up to him quite yet, so he is probably Air Force Ace's best player. So Ruby's probably still in pretty good form, throwing out a couple of factories, getting his academy up pretty standard all the way around. Nothing interesting going on quite yet. But yeah, I think both players have a good shot in this. It's a very balanced matchup between these two, the map, between the players, and everything. So I think we're going to see some 3-hatch Muta, and then we'll see how well Ruby decides to defend, and if he can do anything with a little early push. But I don't know if he's really going to be able to, because they are at cross positions here, as we see the fire bats popping out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think it's going to be a 3-hatch Muta build here. I really think, though, that Kwanro does have the ability to do the damage necessary. We've seen a lot of Zergs lately, or rather, I've seen a lot of Zergs, I don't know about you guys, that kind of just epically fail in the harassment. They really don't get enough done. They pick off a couple units here and there, and then they just push out. Although we have seen kind of the rise of the new, just disgusting, epic Medic Marine Micro, where they just focus fire down the Mutalisks with just a small pack of Marines. And we see a little bit of a push here coming out, and yeah, I really think Ruby's going to try to time this one out for just before those Mutalisks hatch, just like kind of standard Terran does. He's going to leave a couple of units back at home, probably just a fire bat and a medic or something like that to block off that ramp from his possible Zergling run by. And we do see a lot of Zerglings also out in the field here, so Kwanro possibly looking to do some kind of surround on these forces here. I don't think he wants to put down any sunken colonies at his main base. I don't think he's doing anything like that just yet. So, yeah, and here he goes for a little bit of a run by, but there are units at the ramp, so he's not going to be able to do much of anything. But here he goes for this surround. Firebat's in the mix here. Firebat's going to do a ton of damage to those Zerglings and just getting completely cleaned up there. Some nice micro on Ruby's part, and like you were saying, Vu, he's still got it, man. This guy has not been in the Air Force long enough. He's still got it, and Kwanro looking a little bit disturbed there. These Mutalisks are going to be out in the field soon enough, so I don't know though. He wasn't forced to put down as many creep colonies though, so he's gonna have kind of a little bit more of an economic build than he usually would. He's got all that mineral intake coming in pretty nicely. Those Zerglings were just there, I think, to slow it down, pick off as many Marines as he could. I don't think those Firebats were his main concern there. So here he goes. Mutalisks are in the field now, and here he goes, just flying in. We'll see what he can get accomplished.
Yeah, it looks like Ruby's pushing out to try to put a little pressure on Kwanro, but he's going to have to retreat to defend his own base against the Mutalisks. There's only, I believe, one sunken colony at Kwanro's door, so he was trying to use the Lings to prevent Ruby from pushing out at all, and already losing a Mutalisk. So Ruby, as you were talking about, as Deja Vu was talking about, just using that focus fire to take down a Mutalisk incredibly quickly, and I think Ruby's kind of in a little moment of indecision whether or not he needs to push or retreat, and right now he's just trying to micro in the middle of the map, which is pretty much where he wants to engage because, again, Kwanro can't take advantage of those cliffs. But actually, Kwanro running in with some Lings and taking out turrets as they're being built, which is a beautiful little bit. He's preparing for maybe a counterattack by building 2 more Sunkens in his base, but I think he might soon, instead of losing another Muta popping, but instead of trying to engage this Medic Marine force, once those sunken colonies are up, he's just going to go straight for the main and rely on those sunken colonies to defend. It looks like Ruby has killed the Zerglings in his natural and is putting up a lot of turrets, so he might be okay. He might be just in time, but Kwanro is arriving, and he's going to take out 2 missile turrets before any of the Marines are able to take shots at the Mutalisks, and it looks like he's continuing to produce a lot of Mutalisks. There's a huge force of Mutalisks here, and they're just attack moving over the Marines. Not enough Marines in the main base area, at least, to defend.
I think that's actually was more than a control group of Mutalisks there for Kwanro, and if he pushed a bit earlier and made 3 sunken colonies at the time he made that one, Ruby had no turrets in his main or natural, so he could have done a lot of damage